All right, hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to our second video. It's kind of exciting. Fight Coffee. So glad you're here. My name is Anthony, and in today's video, I want to talk about what led me to the place that I'm at now. You know, we're on the precipice of hopefully launching Fight Coffee here in a few months, and so you know what kind of led me to this place. So I got a few stories. I mean, there's so much I could say. Again, I want to keep these videos hopefully short and sweet. So just share a couple of stories with you. The first one, I'm going to take you back to 1979. I know I'm dating myself. I was in 8th grade, and I just had to do this. This was fun. I don't know if you remember the top 3 songs. I'll tell you the songs that were topping the charts in the 70s were My Sharona by the Knack. Remember that? Okay. Bad Girls, Donna Summer, and number 3, Le Freak. All right. Sorry. All right, let's get serious and get back to the video here. But I for those of you who were then and around then, back then, alive and kicking it, just thought we'd do a little blast from the past. So anyway, back to the story. 1979, Church Farm School, Exton, Pennsylvania, and shout out to Yao GB, Thomas Stelzer, Skeeter, Carrie Wimberly, and the rest of the crew, everybody who was there in those years. I was there 79 and 80. So anyway, if this video finds its way to you, definitely touch base with me in the comment section. So anyway, would love to hear from you. All right, back to the story, which I didn't even start. So I'm at Church Farm School, and Roots was on TV. Okay, now for those of you who don't know the story Roots, it was about a slave from Africa, Kunta Kinte, and his story of, coming to America. And I think it was like one or two, at least 2 generations. Well, him and then his children, right? So, and it was hilarious to me, the cast, and they had LeVar Burton, and I can't remember the actor's name from Good Times, the father, JJ's dad. But I mean, we went from LeVar Burton to LeVar to this other actor who was totally, way lighter skinned, totally different featured. It just always cracked me up that they were trying to tell us that this was the older Kunta Kinte. But anyway, all right, sorry. Let me get back to the story. All right. So anyway, I'm watching this. I'm in 8th grade, and I think the memory that I have most was when they had Kunta Kinte. He was up on the tree. They had had him roped up, and he was just hanging there, and then they were whipping him, and his master, right, was would just crack that whip on him and say, "What's your name, boy?" And he'd say, "Kunta Kinte," and he said, "Your name is Toby," and he's like whipping him, whoosh, and every time that whip would crack him, just something happened inside of me, because I'm thinking to myself, if I was alive back then, that would be me, right? I'm half white, but it doesn't matter, right? If you got some black in you, you're going to be a slave back in the day, right? And so I was just trying to imagine my life and what it would be like to be a slave, and just, and it was just the breaking of him, and you wanted him to say, "Toby, come on, man, just say it so you can stop getting whipped." That's what I was like, talking to the TV, right? Just, but then when he finally said his name, Toby, I mean, it's still emotional, and like, they broke him. Something inside him died, right? So that he could keep on living, existing, right, as a slave. So I just remember that miniseries just really struck me, impacted me. I think a lot of things that happen to us, we're not aware of how the extent to which we're being impacted in the moment, but we are being impacted. And certainly I was impacted. And moving on from there, anytime I would see slaves in a movie, a documentary, just something would rile up inside of me. Anger, like, just at the injustice, like, who could profit off of slaves, and who could just remain silent and let this happen? Like, as a young kid, I just struggled, and even as I got older, it just really would, I struggled watching these. Sometimes I'd have to turn stuff off, but I got messed up. But here's the thing: what I would console myself with this thought, right? Which really was a lie, but I didn't know it, obviously, right? I consoled myself with the idea that slavery is over. 18, what it was, 18, I don't remember the year. Emancipation Proclamation, right? No more slaves. That's what we've all just grown up thinking of slavery, and there's no more slavery. However, that's, so far from the truth. And so what started to change for me, or my eyes slowly began to open, I went to a Soul Fest, a music festival in New Hampshire, I believe. And so between the bands, there was a speaker. And this guy, he was telling a story about these African children. Not just children, but children. That's what stuck out in my mind, the children. And so what they would do is the fishermen would have them dive down and untangle the nets. The problem was, first of all, some of these kids were like, if I remember correctly, like around 7 years old, maybe even younger. I don't know. But I know they were young, very young. I'm close with 7 years old. And then not only did they have these types of young kids untangling the nets, some of the kids were getting tangled in the nets. And they were dying. And as he was telling me this story, or us, the story, that thing started to rise up again. But now this time it was like, it wasn't that was then, this is now. There's no more slavery. No, this guy's telling me, guys, there's slavery. It's around. It's happening. I don't remember any statistics at the time, so I kind of remember that, maybe thinking to myself, well, maybe it's not that extreme of a situation. Certainly it was in Africa. I went to the tent. I bought the t-shirt. I'm asking questions. I'm learning about, companies that use slaves and profit from that, so that we can get cheaper products here in America and around the world. And then I started trying to do research to find out what are these products, because I don't want to buy them. And it was just difficult. I couldn't really, I was just very frustrated. I'm hearing about something and I wanted to do something, but it just really wasn't clear to me what I could do. So, time passed, and I can't say that I forgot. I had the t-shirt, but the t-shirt kind of frustrated me, because every time I saw it, I knew stuff was going on, and I just felt incapable to do anything about it. So anyway, fast forward, I don't know how many years, but years passed by, and I don't know how I became aware, but so I started seeing some TED Talks and other videos on YouTube. And so I'm hearing stories of these women who have been trafficked. And so, I'm hearing these stories, and, look, I grew up in the South Bronx. I've been through some stuff. I was no angel. I've seen a lot of stuff. I know there's bad people out in this world. But, I think the thing that I didn't realize, was that not all prostitution is just, let me put it this way. There's a lot of prostitution it's slavery, period. Plain and simple, it's slavery. It's not just some woman who made some bad choice, or she's free and that's what she wants to do. No, there's just a lot of slavery connected with it. And I never would have used that terminology. I never perceived it prior to that in that light, but that's what was, becoming clear to me. And so that was impact. Again, I can't put it off. I can't say, well, that was then, this is now, it doesn't exist. No, it's like, no, it exists. So, so from there, I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I began to search for organizations, and I found an organization, and I began to support them. And, I felt, pretty good. I felt like at least I'm doing something. I'm contributing. Obviously I can't go rescue the people and go find them and rehabilitate, right? So that's what the organizations are for. So, supporting organizations is vital. Okay. All right. So I felt good about it, but then I started getting these regular, I don't know, it's quarterly. I think they're quarterly, mailers, monthly. But you know how organizations, they'll send you updates and let you know what's going on and tell you stories, right? So more and more, as time was going by, I was seeing children, so many stories about children, and hearing about, kids being trafficked at 5 and 6 and 7, and that just triggered me. It really impacted me because, I was molested as a child. I was left in the care of two different women at different occasions, a couple years apart. And, when I think about what I experienced and how that impacted me, and then I think of children who are being victimized, violated, raped, and used, not just a couple of times like me, every day, multiple times a day. I've heard stories of people being used up to 20, 30, 40 times a day. That's crazy. So I'm getting these mailers, and I'm getting slowly red pilled. I'm getting slowly awakened, and I'm getting, I'm being impacted. But again, it's not that was then, this is now. No, it's not only is it now, there's a lot happening. And so as I can do more homework and more research, I think it was just this combination of the stories, hearing about how many children are being impacted, and just the sheer statistics. If you just follow any human trafficking organization on Instagram or whatever and just see the numbers they're putting up, scroll through, the numbers are just, it's unbelievable, really. It's surreal to me. It's still surreal to me that a year and a half after starting this process of starting Fight Coffee, that I even feel that this is, somebody needs to do something. There's not enough people doing what needs to be done, period. So whatever we do, to whatever success Fight Coffee will ever have, it will only be a small part of what needs to be done to see slavery come to an end, right? 30 to 40 million people enslaved. 1% are being rescued. 1%? It's crazy. So anyway, so I'm giving, yes, I'm learning, but my heart is stirred. I'm like, is there more that I can do? Is there more that I can do? And I don't know. What does a person do? I don't know. So, but it just kept nagging me and coming back to me. And I had this idea about a coffee cart, right? So a mobile ed coffee cart. That's kind of where this whole idea of Fight Coffee started. If I got a cart and I went around my community, maybe my county, right? We're mobile. We're educating people about human trafficking, right? Because education is the key to prevention. We're raising money, right? Because raising money, funding these organizations is the key to rescuing people, seeing people rescued. So I thought that would be a great idea. But through research, just learning about coffee, learning about beans, learning about just everything, finally it made more sense to start an e-commerce business, lower startup, A, and B, you'd have a nationwide potential reach, right? So that just made more sense to start that way. And so pretty much that is, so that's what brought me here to this place right now. So that's where I'm at. A year and a half later, with some sweat equity, and we've sought to bootstrap this thing. If you're not familiar with the term, basically it's using existing resources, what you have. Use your resources to get something started. So that's what we've been doing. We've exhausted our resources, and so we're now up to the point where we're going to do a fundraiser. And so I'll talk more about that in the next video. So please definitely stay tuned for that, because that's where I need your help. I think this is totally doable. But again, so just stay tuned for that. So because as seeking to be a not-for-profit, we can't have investors, because investors want a return on their investment, right? They want continual, if you've seen Shark Tank, right? They, I want 5%, I want 50%. Well, they're sharks, right? But whether they're sharks or not, they want some, return on their investment. And so that money would then not be going to fight human trafficking. And we need every penny that we can get to fight human trafficking. So that's not an option, certainly because we're not for profit. And then, obviously I could take out some loans, but I'm trying not to do that. Again, if you're paying interest, then that money's not going to fight human trafficking. So we're not far off. I'll tell you more about that in the next video. So, so that's where you come in. You can help us cross the finish line. by helping us with our fundraiser. But won't talk any more about that because like I said, that'll be in the next video. So before I go, I just want to touch on something that I talked about earlier, and that was my frustration. I do think that sometimes, and this isn't always the case, and I think many organizations are just doing a really great job at helping people to learn, find out what they can do. What I love about Fight Coffee is, different from what I experienced. I got to do some research. What do I got to do? I got to, what can I do? For everyone that drinks coffee, 64% of Americans drink coffee, and they hear about Fight Coffee. It's, you don't experience the difficulty that I had. It's just easy. Just drink Fight Coffee. You're already spending the money. You already drink the coffee. Just the money that you're directing over there to those guys who are not giving a penny to fight human trafficking, you just redirect it. You buy Fight Coffee, and you can know for sure that 100% of the profit is going to fight human trafficking. So that's that's easy, that's simple. And for those who don't drink coffee, it's easy too. Just go to the website, click donate, and we're just asking people to give a minimum of $1 a month. And so our hope is that, many people who give, they're willing to give that $35, $40, whatever, whether that's one time or a month or what have you. Maybe not everybody is, so we're hoping to make those people who maybe aren't willing to give that much, give them the opportunity to give something. So you go online, it's easy, you click, once you get it set up, boom, it's either $1 a month, or you could do a one-time gift for the $1 for a year. So anyway, this is what I love about Fight Coffee. It just makes it easy. Of course, the coffee's good, and I love drinking coffee. I love serving coffee. I love when I make a latte for a friend. They come over to the house and, they enjoy the latte that I prepared for them. I enjoy that about coffee. So now Fight Coffee just gives me one more thing to enjoy about something that I already loved. So that's what I love about it. And I hope that's what you love about it too. So there you go. Before you go, of course, right? Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can not miss any videos when we upload them. And certainly, I would love to hear from you. If you have questions, you got comments, just any feedback at all would be, it's positive, it's encouraging. So would definitely love to hear from you. So again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I look forward to, doing more videos and having you guys along for the ride. Thank you so much for fighting with us here at Fight Coffee. And until then, until next time, we'll catch you in the next video.